mentioned was I'd like to see sorry, I've lost my train of thought. So
We can come back next time. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Mr. Swiffer. Kenya McKnight.
I just want to go back and piggyback on the jobs aspect of our community.
Loudly as you can, please.
I think jobs are important. However, we also need to focus on career opportunities for individuals in our community. Jobs kind of come and go. So when we talk about this LRT system that is coming here, sure it's going to create jobs, maybe for about a year, or several months, et cetera. But if we don't have people who are actually trained in specific careers to actually man the jobs long term, then we'll only see minority workers on the first basic entry level of that. So I'm really interested in training for career opportunities. I'm also interested in, I think we talked a lot about this on Campbell J, so let me just back up and say that I would actually encourage you to look at the other debates that we've had. Sometimes candidates are stronger in this debate and not in the other debates. So kind of look at them all and kind of see where we are hitting points about different vital issues in this community. But again, going back to jobs, I think as we do focus on jobs, we also need to focus on long-term careership opportunities for people, which will come through training, career training in the green jobs field, et cetera. We know that a lot of the stimulus dollars that have come down to our state, which most of it is gone, will provide some careership opportunities for people. I also want to say this, that, I've said this to Mr. Samuels, I think I've said this to Lenny, I've said this to a couple of people, and by no means am I excusing any behavior or, any outrageous statements that have been made, but, Mr. Samuels didn't really lie to us coming in the door. He told us who he was coming in the door. We talked about him being the House Negro and being more educated than the field Negro. So he really didn't lie about who he was. And so the work that he unfolded over the last 4 years was what it was. And so what did we do within those 4 years is what I would do. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Lenny Chisholm.
Well, once again, I got to follow great statements by King McKnight. I'll get to yours afterwards.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I like to point out is that through several mayors, Belton, Frazier, now we have Robbie, numerous council members, including our former council member here. The lot across the street at Penn and Plymouth has sit vacant 35 years from my understanding. Last thing was there was a gas station. The one across the street had a McDonald's. It closed up about 20 years ago. I don't know how long the one on Golden Valley and Penn has been vacant. It's on both sides of the street. The only thing I can remember seeing there was a mural. If I go down the street and look on Emerson, and that's a vacant lot that's been there forever. We currently have a council member that believes in chasing alleged pimps and prostitutes, but he's not chasing businesses to this community. We have to go out there. We need good ideas to come through this community, and when they come through, we don't need fully developed business plans. As a council member, I'll send them somewhere to get a business plan developed. I want to see the idea, because we have to have ideas and creativeness in those vacant lots. Because to me, that vacant lot is opportunity that someone else is getting. Every time we want to go somewhere and have a bite to eat after church, we're not running down to some of these fast food restaurants, we're running out to Red Lobster and places like that. So in my idea, we have to be able to take that as city council people and take it down there and say, hey, here's an idea to get rid of that lot and the next lot. All the way down Broadway, we need to start bringing those lots back, getting rid of those vacant lots on Penn, Plymouth, etc. I went out to the city commissioners when they had the hearing for the Bottom project, and I stated that to them. I said the velocity of money is about to start rolling through this part of the city, and I want to put a hot dog stand and a bike shop anywhere there's a stop, because those are two things that will be funded by everybody getting off that light rail. And I want to make sure that when we put that stand, we realize it coming through. Love this kind of music. They have for years. They bought more 50 cents than we have. We have to understand that we are the center and focus of this community and have been for a long time. We are the only ones that are not harvesting the fruits of our community. We have to put that as an emphasis. And if we sidetrack that, we only have 469 kids this year in North High. That's the number they gave me. And let's say all 469 of them graduated with honors. If there's no opportunities, I can guarantee you where they're going to go, out of this community. They have but no choice. we have to bring that emphasis that if we want to keep the people here, we first got to create opportunities for them. Now, of those 469 kids, now I think we got some geniuses over there. And we got to figure out which ones they are, and we have to nurture them and grow them. Because in the end, North High is our best source for keeping our kids here in this community.
Thank you, Lenny Chisholm. Natalie Johnson-Lee.
Just to finish on the other things that I was talking about. The other thing I want to talk about is also youth development. One of the things that is exciting, and we've all been excited about the new Y that's been built. But you know what? One of the statistics that the Y has said is that there's 18,000 children within a mile radius of the Y. And not all 18,000 of those children are going to go to the YMCA. So what we have to do is we have to have a comprehensive youth plan that includes all our parks in that plan, so that North Commons, Boys and Girls Club, Hospitality House, Farwell, Farview, so that when our kids want to go, they have a destination place. Right now, many of those community centers are not destination places for them. They're just places where they go, and some of them may hang out. And what I'm hearing, actually, I've talked to a lot of young people, they're starting to have gang activity in the parks. Not that hasn't been going on, but it's getting more. They hang out outside in the parks. They don't go inside because they don't think there's anything inside in them. We also need to make sure that we have dollars that are infused into those parks. Where I was talking to one particular park person, I said, well, how much money do you have to work with youth for the whole year? And I thought he was going to say, maybe $25,000, $35,000. He said $1,500 to work with the youth for the whole year, to do different things. Wow. I said, well, how do you make that work? And he said, well, the best way we can. But we have partnered with the Peace Foundation and got them fundraising money, but we never seen any of those dollars. So the challenge is we have an entity in our community using our historically our parks and our things and our entities here that have been here for a long time, using them as partnerships and putting them down as partners. But then when the money comes in, they're no longer partners. That's not a real partnership. A partnership is not where I write your name down, I say I'm down with you, but then when I get the money, I go and do something else. That's not. We need real partnerships in our community. The other thing we have to do is we also have to look at the fact that much of the development also has a large community input in it. But our community is supposed to have input into any development that happens in this community in any different place, so that development is reflective of those that live here, is that development is a mirror of what they would like to see. So if you take this building right here, I had the opportunity, and there's a Dr. McFarlane showing me where they had took the ideas of the community and infused it into the design of this building. They were very specific. They didn't do everything that the community wanted, but the community had a lot of input into how this building was designed. That's really how the development should be done on North Side. Not only that we are a part of it, that we build it, that we get the jobs in it, and that we benefit from it.
Thank you, Natalie Johnson.
Wow.
We're going to ask questions now, and if you have a question that you've written down, please give them to Mrs. Samuels, and I'll present those questions to the candidates. I'll start with the general question. This time we'll do it in the opposite order. I'll start with Natalie Johnson-Lee. And these questions are theme questions. Take about 1 minute and respond to the general theme. The first theme question is, how do we improve public safety in North Minneapolis? Crime is the problem. How do you address the problem of crime in our community? How do we create a safer community? Natalie Johnson-Lee.
Well, a couple of things, and I'm glad you said crime is a problem, because that's not what we've been hearing. We've been hearing that crime's down and everybody in North Minneapolis is safe, but we know that not to be true. How do we begin to deal with crime? First of all, we've got to have better response times from our officers when a crime is committed. A lot of times you hear about the shot blockers, but by the time that the shot blockers get there, North Minneapolis has its own internal shot blockers. We know when a shot is fired. We can kind of pinpoint ourselves. We didn't need multiple $1 million worth of equipment to come in and tell you where the shots are coming from. But the other piece is good response time for the police officer, more police accountability, as well as community members have to get engaged in their communities. You have to know your neighbors. You have to be engaged in Block Club, and you also have to have a group that has the political will to move